Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome to today's video. If you're new here, my name is Georgina, co-owner of Ivy and Twine candles, and today's video is part 2 on this topic. So if you've just searched and found this video and you're new here, then feel free to go over and check out part 1, which I will leave linked up here and in the description box below. If you would like to go and check out that video first, feel free. However, today we are going to be talking about how you can stand out from your competition on the various marketplaces which I discussed in the last video, as well as some tips on how to get repeat custom when it comes to selling your handmade products. So whether you're selling candles, jewellery, art, soaps, or any other handmade craft, I really do hope that you find this video useful. If you do, please be sure to give it a big thumbs up so YouTube knows to show it to more like-minded people. And I'd also like to ask you to please subscribe to my channel if you are interested in candle making, candle business, and generally small business related content, such as this video. I post sit-down videos every Tuesday as well as a weekly vlog every Friday. However, feel free to click the wee bell so you do get notified when I post a new video. And with all that said and done, let's jump right in. So first up, we're going to be talking about how you can stand out from your competitors, i.e. why are people going to choose to buy your product? With point number 1, I'm going to go in straight away with the heavy, and this may sound a little harsh, but I would just urge you that before you sell your first handmade product, that you ensure that essentially it has some unique qualities to it which are going to be attractive to a potential customer. So really be sure to do your market research on the product and the industry which you are hoping to sell your products in, and really make sure that in some form or another your product is unique and you know what your USP is and how to shout about it. This is important really no matter what handmade product you are selling, but especially if you are hoping to enter into a market which is already saturated or oversaturated, such as the candle market. So really have a good think about how your product could offer something new to a potential customer, whether that's in the design and the aesthetic of the product or the potential benefits that it may offer in terms of well-being and things like that. It could be for any number of reasons, to be honest, but really do make sure that you have a reason. And whilst these products often feel like your babies and you've poured your heart and soul into them, try and look at them with a bit of an unbiased and pragmatic approach just for a second. Really approach them as if you are a potential customer and try and think about how they may perceive them. So point number 2 is product photography. I would say, especially if your products are online and you're looking to sell on Etsy or your own website, product photography is so important. You really don't need to spend a lot of money on equipment and fancy cameras and lighting and everything like that. You can do a pretty good job on an iPhone with some good lighting and editing skills. The reason why this is so important is because people will generally shop with their eyes, and they will look at a photo before they even read the title, the description, what brand it is that's selling that product, whether it's on Etsy or if they're looking on Google Shop, for example. So I really urge you to spend a bit of time, maybe a little bit of money, getting your product photography right, because really it will make a big difference between whether you can draw a customer in to look at your product or not. Number 3 has got everything to do with your product descriptions. So you really want to make sure basically that you are giving the customer enough information that they need in order to be able to make an informed decision as to whether they want to buy your products or not, without it getting too lengthy. People are busy, they don't have all day to read about why your handmade candles or whatever products it is that you're selling are so fantastic. So for example, with candles, I would say really the main features that you're going to want to include in your product description are your brand name, the fragrance name, burn time, the fragrance notes, i.e. the base notes, heart notes, and top notes, as well as of course the price. But of course, use your own discretion and really have a think about what is important to your ideal potential customer, i.e. if you are selling essential oils and skincare, then you should know really that a lot of your customers are probably going to be very interested as to whether those products are cruelty-free and vegan and all that kind of stuff. So in that example, you would definitely want to include those factors. Number 4 has got everything to do with branding. When it comes to selling your handmade products on various different marketplaces, I would really recommend making sure that the branding and design and everything, like even just the fonts and colors that you're using is cohesive on each of those marketplaces. So for us, for example, we sell predominantly through independent stockists on a wholesale basis, and we also sell a lot online. And of course, with trade shows hopefully opening up again very soon, we are hoping to use those to our advantage as well when it comes to selling. So we make sure that in each of those marketplaces, everything really works together. It really does help with brand awareness. People really do need to see your branding and your product often several times before they do actually go and make that purchase. So with us, someone might have seen Ivy and Twine on Instagram, they then click through to our website, and then hopefully they will maybe visit one of our local stockists, and maybe then they will actually see, because of the way that everything ties in, and remember us and think, oh yes, that's Ivy and Twine, I'm going to buy a candle. That is really the goal, of course. So I would really just try your best to make sure that each of those marketplaces really does tie in, because it will really only benefit your business to do so. My next tip for standing out from your competitors and being unique is to be you. Now, I know it sounds cheesy, but there is only one you, and that is your superpower. So really make sure that you keep things personable, whether it's on your website or at markets or on your social media. People buy from people at the end of the day, so I would just really urge you to make sure that you allow your personality to come through. So my final quick tip for standing out against your competitors is to really use your customer feedback and reviews to your advantage as much as possible. So obviously on Etsy, this is a really key part of your product listings. However, if you do have a website which you're using either alongside your Etsy or instead of an Etsy page, then I would be sure to have an actual page on your website dedicated to those reviews to show that your customers are happy with their orders and your products and customer service and everything like that, because oftentimes that really is the big difference between somebody making a purchase and not. Oftentimes people just really want to be reassured that this company that they have just found potentially and they are looking to purchase from is legit and that the products are of high quality. So really do champion those positive reviews wherever possible. So let's say that you're a few months down the line from launching your handmade business and people have made their initial purchases. So next up, we're going to talk about how to make sure that those customers return to make further purchases in the future. Now, of course, when we're talking about farmers markets, craft fairs, and basically selling face to face, it can be very difficult to find out exactly what your customer retention rate is. However, in terms of online sales, whether it's through Shopify or any other website provider, those analytics are very easily obtained. Now, in a general sense, the average retention rate for any e-commerce site is 30%. So do have a look at your own customer retention rate. Of course, do take it with a pinch of salt because each industry will vary, as well as how established your small business actually is. But I would say that that 30% is generally a good place to start. So my first tip when it comes to getting that repeat custom is to really remember to engage with your customers via your social media channels. I'll say it again, but people really do buy from people. So really do make sure that you are using your Instagram and your TikTok and Facebook and everything like that to really keep your business fresh in your customers' minds. A lot of the time on social media, we forget to actually show our own faces, and we are definitely guilty of it at times as well. But when it comes to small handmade businesses on social media, I think that really is the place for us to shine. It's one of the things that really does separate us from the big companies, as it were, such as Amazon. People really do like to kind of see the maker behind the products. And I guess for me, I think it reminds the customer that they are buying from an actual person, and that purchase is really going to make a much bigger difference than if they are to purchase from a massive company. My second tip is a mailing list. I cannot stress to you how important it is for you to have a mailing system in place, ideally from day one. So we have used MailChimp for our own company in the past. However, now we have actually moved over to Shopify itself and their own mailing marketing system that they have in place. The reason for that is because I think we reached over a certain threshold. It was maybe 2,000 customer email addresses, and it just got like that little bit more expensive. So we did move over to Shopify, where I believe you get 2,000 free emails a month. I'll check that though. But yeah, and so far so good. I can definitely recommend you guys looking into it if you are on Shopify already and you are looking to put an email marketing strategy in place. So a mailing system will really allow you to communicate with your customers in terms of any new product launches that you have or any sales and discounts that you're running and any general news about your small business, as well as the ability to run automated emails. Now, I wouldn't recommend using these too often because really that is just an easy way of getting yourself unsubscribed from. However, I would say that putting in place an email which goes out to your customers a couple of weeks from when they will have received their purchase, asking them to leave a review on your website, and then maybe another one a couple of months down the line just to put the feelers out and see how they get on again and if they would like to repurchase, directing them back to your website. I would say that is a really good idea. Next up, we have samples. If you can, of course, samples are a really great way of encouraging your customers to come back and repurchase. So this one is of course really geared more towards products which will run out, such as candles, skincare, oils, and soaps and bath bombs and all that kind of thing. So I would maybe recommend including one sample in an order. You could use it as a sliding scale, I guess. So if somebody orders £20 worth of products, they get one sample, £50, two samples, and so on and so forth. But really just use your own discretion. But maybe include a sample which is slightly different, like if it's candles and wax melts, maybe a slightly different fragrance to the one that they have purchased, and then maybe if they like it enough, then they will come back and purchase that in the future. So my next tip is all to do with your product range and your product offering, basically. So definitely make sure that as your business grows, so too does your product offering, and you are either improving or expanding your range of handmade products that you are offering. By launching new products or even just new designs or new fragrances, you are really encouraging your customers who have purchased from you in the past to come back and try those new products. And remember that in your small business, you are always going to want to be one step ahead of the game. I think it's fair to say that for most handmade and small businesses, Christmas is really the biggest time of the year. A lot of people love giving handmade products as gifts. So for us, for example, we are already thinking about Christmas and it is not even the middle of June yet. So we're already thinking about what products we're going to be doing at Christmas time. And really we're already thinking about starting to pour all of the products that we will be doing just for the festive period, which is kind of crazy, but also it will be good to get kind of a head start on stock levels. So by the time we are ready to release the Christmas stock, we will already have a good kind of level of stock to work with. So a lot of those tips were really geared more towards online selling and Etsy and everything like that. So this tip is really meant for those who sell a lot at craft fairs and farmers markets and face-to-face. So I would really recommend utilizing any groups and social media networking, I guess, that you can. It might be the case of looking up any Facebook kind of community groups in your local area where you would normally be doing those kind of craft fairs and markets, etc. A lot of the time these kind of groups allow local businesses to kind of advertise about the products or services that they offer in order to be able to reach out to members of the community. And again, it's just really acting as a way to remind people about your small business and the products which you offer. I think there's really no shame in doing this, especially if you are based from your home. You don't have an actual shop front which people can be reminded of your business by. And maybe again, if it's kind of like at the quieter time of year for you and it's a time of year when you don't have lots of markets throughout the month, then it's just another way for you to be able to re-engage with your customers. So guys, that is it for today's video. As always, I really do hope that you found it useful in some way, shape or form. If you did, please be sure to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe if you're new, and I will see you in the next one. Bye guys!